Barham, was it a mistake?
I mean, I'm glad that you framed the question from an American perspective and an Iraqi perspective. I come from Kurdistan of Iraq. I can say from what I see in Baghdad today, and I go to Baghdad every now and then, and I follow things closely. Iraq is not what we hoped for. Iraq today, 10 years on from the war. Iraq today, 10 years on from the war, from the overthrow of Saddam Hussein, is not what the Iraqi people hoped for and expected. We hoped for an inclusive democracy, an Iraq that is at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbors. To be blunt, we are far from that, absolutely. We have to acknowledge that, and there are many reasons for why this has gone the way it has. I can get into that, but it's important to also understand where we started from. Iraq was ruled by Saddam Hussein for 30 years, committed genocide. Literally hundreds of thousands of Iraqis were sent to mass graves. To date, 10 years on from the demise of Saddam Hussein, we're still discovering mass graves across Iraq. And Iraqis are better off without Saddam Hussein. Overwhelming majority of the people of Iraq are better off without Saddam Hussein. I think what the war has given us, the overthrow of Saddam, is the opportunity to chart a different course for our country from what we had. At the time, we had the certainty of dictatorship, genocide, mass graves. Now we have the uncertainty of politics, but also, yes, a lot of violence, terrorism, regional interferences, all the kind of nasty stories that we hear about. It's a tough situation that we find ourselves in 10 years on. And it's a tough moral question, especially for Iraqi politicians, including myself, to answer our constituents. How could we squander this opportunity of unprecedented international support, including American support, by the way, or particularly American support? Iraq could have been a different place. In my view, and I say this without equivocation, I say it in Kurdish, I say it in Arabic when I'm in Baghdad, this has been fundamentally a failure of leadership by the Iraqi elite that assumed power after the demise of Saddam Hussein. One can also identify a number of mistakes that were committed by the coalition led by the United States, but that is beside the point. My perspective is our own responsibility. I think we could have managed that situation better. We could have understood the dynamics in a better way and put in place a more cohesive governing structures, but we were haunted also by realities on the ground. Geography, history, the legacy of the Ba'ath dictatorship, and also this change in Iraq opened up so many other dynamics across the Middle East that were latent. I disagree with David when he said that with the overthrow of Saddam, we went back to the pre-modern Iraq. Saddam Hussein was not a modern, enlightened dictator. He was the ultimate sectarian, fascist killer who really turned Iraq apart on ethnic lines as well as on sectarian lines. The way I put it, yes, it was worth it from the perspective of most Iraqis. We could have done a lot better than what we have done so far. At least we have a chance to making a difference to the people's lives. If you come to Kurdistan, things are very different. The South is beginning to rise up and becoming more of a prosperous entity. But again, I have to be honest with myself and with you and with my own people and say things could have been better. This is not what we hoped for. We still have a long way to go.